Hi, welcome to In and Around Computer. In this video, we are going to see routing and its types. First, we can see what is routing. Network routing is the process of selecting a path across one or more networks. This routing selects the path for the Internet Protocol packets to travel from their origin to their destination. So these routing decisions are made by specialized piece of network hardware called the router. We already have the types of routers and what is a router in our video in previous videos in our channel. So please check into that. In this video, we are going to see the types of routing. But before going to that, we can consider a scenario like we are having a computer A and computer B, and the networks network 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And for a data packet to get from a computer A to computer B, should it pass through network 1, 3, and 5, or should it pass through network 2 and 4? So the packet will take a shorter path through a network 2 and 4, but networks 1 and 3, 1, 3, the route 1, 3, and 5 might be faster at forwarding packets than 2 and 4. So such kind of routing decisions are made by these routers. So now we come to the types of routing. There are three types of routing: static routing, dynamic routing, and default routing. Routers can behave in any of the following techniques. That is static, they can behave statically, dynamically, or they can follow default routing. So we can see them one by one. First, we can see what is static routing. The static routing is also known as a non-adaptive routing. Then why it's called like that means we can see that it is a technique in which the administrator manually adds the routes in the routing table, and the router can send the packets for the destination along the route defined by the administrator only. So the router can only send the packets along the route defined by the administrator. So in this technique, the routing decisions are not made based upon the conditions or topology of the network. So this is called as non-adaptive routing. And next we can see the advantages and disadvantages of this routing. And no routing overhead for the router CPU, which means a cheaper router can be used to do this type of routing. So it adds, and it also adds security, because only an administrator can allow routing to particular networks only. So, and no bandwidth usage between the routers also. So these are the advantages. And coming to the disadvantages, for a large network, it is hectic to manually load and add each route for the network in the routing table on each router. And the administrator also should have good knowledge of the topology. So if an administrator comes, then he has to manually add each route, so he should have very good knowledge of the roots of the topology. So this is also a disadvantage of this static router and routing. And now coming to the dynamic routing, this is also known as adaptive routing. That is, it is a technique in which the router adds a new route in the routing table for each packet in response to the changes in the condition or topology of the network. So it is called as the adaptive routing. And dynamic protocols are used to discover the new routes to reach the destination. So this protocols will be routing protocols will be seen. We can see that in the next video. And if any route goes down, then the automatic adjustment will be made to reach the destination. And this is about the dynamic. What is meant by dynamic routing? So this is an adaptive routing. And coming to the advantages and disadvantages of this adaptive routing, it is easier to configure, it is more effective in selecting the best route in response to the changes or changes in the condition or topology. And that is coming to the disadvantages, it is more expensive in terms of CPU and bandwidth usage, and it's less secure as compared to default and static routing. Next is the default routing, and this is the method where the router is configured to send all the packets towards a single router. That is, it doesn't matter to which network the packet belongs. It is forwarded out to the router, which is called the stub router, and that is configured for default routing. That is, it is generally used with stub router. That is, a stub router is a router that has only one route to reach all other networks. So this the default routing, what it will do means it sends the packets out to the router which is configured for the default routing. That is, it has only one route, default route to reach all other networks. So such a type of routing which is routing the packets out to the default router is known, that is stub router, is known as the default routing. Subscribe to my channel if you feel contented. Like and share my videos with your friends.